I saw a picture of a margarita from Daisy on the internet, and I was like, I was just inspired by the colors of the cocktail. I kind of know how the cocktail was built a little bit, and when I make the cocktail, you'll see why I know that. But I thought that I wanted to kind of make my own kind of variation on this, but I don't know what the recipe is, and I don't know what the ingredients are. I'm just kind of making this up. So I wanted to make a passion fruit margarita inspired by the LA restaurant and bar Daisy, run by Maxwell Reese. Now, this is not a recipe that came from that restaurant because I've never been to that restaurant. I don't know the specs. I've never even looked at the menu. I have met Max Reese in the past, but I have not actually tasted this cocktail at all. So I'm just gonna do my own thing with it, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a weirdly original cocktail inspired by Daisy. And Daisy is a bar in LA that has found itself on the 50 best bars lists for the last couple of years running. Daisy is owned by the same bar group, like bar, restaurant, hospitality group that owns Mirate, which means look at me, or looking at you. Is it look at you or look at me? I don't know. My Spanish is very rusty, but which is highly problematic given my family history. But anyway, let's get into making the cocktail, okay? So we're gonna do, this is gonna be a pebble ice cocktail. This is gonna pebble ice version of a margarita here. We're gonna squeeze some lime in our trusty lime squeezer doohickey that you can not find on our website. Oh, we got some coming in, which is actually a good thing, yeah. The vast majority of people are very happy with this product that we released, and I'm happy with it, I like it. We are gonna need, oh shit. No, don't tell me. No, I just moved it, or you moved it. We have pebble ice because I made a ton of pebble ice. All right. Okay, we're gonna do, instead of agave, we're gonna do ½ ounce of honey, 3/4 ounce of lime juice, or let's just call it 1 ounce of lime juice. We're gonna do ½ ounce of passion fruit puree, ½ ounce of orange curacao. Although you could, if you wanted this to be a little bit sharper, you could do this with like a triple sec style. And then we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of Reposado tequila. Ah! Just call me Mr. Butterfingers. You ever see that movie UHF?
Yes.
And Emo Phillips is like, cuts off his finger and he's like, just call me Mr. Butterfingers. Just so not concerned by the fact that he just cut his hand off. Okay, now we're gonna get some pebble ice, put it in here, just enough to add dilution and texture and give it a shake. We want the right dilution. I said dilution and texture, but what we're really looking for is the right dilution and the right chill without over diluting. But then also this will give it like more aeration when you whip shake. Ooh, I really did that. Look at that, it's like milkshake texture. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fill it with ice, okay? Mostly. We're gonna take some Peychaud's bitters here, okay? And we're just going to give it a nice, I don't know, 5 to 6 dashes. Little freeze-dried lime. Let's give it a sipple. It's everything that I want in a margarita and more because it has passion fruit. The thing is that passion fruit is not super sweet. It's actually pretty tart. So you're kind of splitting the difference between the lime and the passion fruit. You're getting that passion fruit flavor, but it's making it a little bit more tart, but it's nicely balanced with the honey and the orange liqueur, which gives it a little bit of complexity and depth. And then you have the Reposado tequila bringing in a little bit more depth. And then the bitters, which is tamping down a little bit more of the sweetness. It's not amplifying the tartness, but it is assisting the tartness. And you have some nice complexity there, along with a lot of those like anise flavors, like those, you know, kind of Creole flavors that the Peychaud's bitters brings in. I love it a lot. So there it is, the bittered passion fruit margarita. Today has been a long time coming. We have been working on this for the better part of almost 2 years. This is a tiki mug that we partnered up with Tiki Diablo to make. We commissioned this from Danny before he passed away. tragically. And what it is a shrunken head of friend of the show, Eric Andre's head. He gave us some pictures of his head. We had it reformulated through the imagination of Danny into a shrunken head, and now we have a tiki mug. I don't know how many we're gonna make. It kind of is up to you guys. This is not something that is done in a large production warehouse. This is something that is done by a very small team of artisans here in Southern California. I created a cocktail specifically for this mug, so each one will ship with a little card. Of course, it is an Eric Andre themed cocktail. You can find the pre-order on our website, theeducatedbarfly.com.
Just note, it's not gonna ship until maybe the end of the year.
That's right, way ahead of time pre-order, because it is a small team of artisans making it in California. Each of these are made in small batches, and so because they are made in small batches, depending on how many sell, we'll have to kind of like batch them out. I may sign some. I may even force Eric Andre to sign some, possibly. But I'm not promising that. But maybe a select few of you will have one signed by Eric Andre. Maybe not, I don't know.
It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise. So go get your Eric Andre shrunken head mug with companion cocktail today. The yellow jacket, which was created by bar owners and bartenders, Jason Cosmas and Dusan Zarek from the very famous Employees Only bar, which is a speakeasy style bar that opened in the wake of Milk and Honey. It opened in 2004 in New York City. We have one here in LA as well. That's been open for many years. The cool thing about Employees Only, and one of the things that made Employees Only incredibly famous though, was that it was also the subject of a 2013 documentary called Hey Bartender, which I'm not sure if you can stream anymore, but it followed a couple of bartenders, but one of the bartenders was an ex-military guy who was working his way up from barback to bartender in that movie at Employees Only. And Employees Only had a very famous kind of 2-year progression between barback and bartender, and then you earn your like a chef's jacket with your name on it when you become a bartender. And so the documentary sort of documented that barback going through that process, which is really cool. And it was like one of the first documentaries that was like a compelling documentary that surrounded bartenders. So yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. You should check it out if you can find it streaming anywhere. Marius is on his phone, quickly typing to see where it's streamable, right? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I don't, I mean, no.
It's not streaming anywhere. That's a bummer, dude, because that is a great, well, I want to try and figure out where, maybe we can find it on YouTube or something. Maybe they made it available on YouTube. I remember it being available to watch. The cocktail itself also has a pretty interesting kind of story behind it. Basically, Jason Cosmos and Dusan Zarek were trying to make a cocktail with St-Germain, which was kind of a newish ingredient back then. Not even St-Germain, just elderflower liqueur. I think St-Germain actually came up around 2007, but they wanted to make a cocktail with elderflower liqueur, but they wanted to pair it with agave, right? They wanted to pair it with tequila, and they were lacking a final ingredient, so they're playing around with it one night, and then a bunch of cocktail enthusiasts came in and ordered a Last Word cocktail and challenged them. I guess they got to talking, maybe talking about their like kind of puzzle problem that they had going on with this cocktail, and challenged them to make like a Last Word, you know, kind of variation. And that's where this cocktail was born. Now, this cocktail is not a Last Word format, so it's just taking inspiration, I guess, from that interaction with the cocktail nerds that made this cocktail come to life. And it is named after the yellow jacket wasp, which is very prevalent on agave farms. And it brings it all back to the main ingredient, which I like. I got to tell you that if a little piece of advice for those of you guys that are competing in cocktail competitions. It is true that you have to have a solid recipe. Everything should be balanced and the best that you could possibly do it. But the cocktail recipes that win are cocktail recipes that have a great story that kind of envelops the name of the cocktail and the concept of the cocktail all in one. If you can take like the name of the cocktail and the concept and then blend that into, you know, a story about the cocktail, you will win cocktail competitions every time. Well, maybe you won't win every time, but you will definitely get closer to winning. Story is really important. Human beings like stories. Have the story of the cocktail be part of the inspiration, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of like making it. So first thing we're gonna do is 2 dashes of orange bitters, and you wanna do exactly 2 dashes. We're gonna do 1 ounce of St-Germain, and we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of yellow Chartreuse, and then we're gonna do 2 ounces of Reposado tequila. We're using Lagrimas today. Crack the first cube. Crack the second. Give it a stir. I don't want to do I want to try one of those crazy...
The wings or whatever?
I know, it's just that lemon peel is like so like weird to like, it doesn't really stay rolled up very well, especially if you have like a thick peel, you know? Oh, here. The only problem with this is that it like, there we go, that's better. There you go, that's nice. No, it's good to taste. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's a bit sweet, but it's not overly really. I mean, it's actually really nice. I just wonder if I missed something. Like, did I? Seems sweeter than last time I made it. If I were gonna do this over again, I'd take that 1 ounce of St-Germain and just make it 3/4. I think that's a better build. 3/4, yeah. Because just like the St-Germain, it's just like, it just makes it like a little bit sweet. I think the original build's 1 ounce though. It's not bad, it is really delightful. Like, it highlights the tequila, you get the orange bitters, that tamps down sweetness a little bit. It highlights the St-Germain really well, and the St-Germain plays into the botanicals, the yellow chartreuse really nicely, so all of the components are there for a great drink. I just think that maybe a 1 ounce is a little heavy, and it should be 3/4, so it should be 2, 3/4, 3/4, 1 dash. And what I'll say right now is, even though I did 1 in this recipe, down below, I'm gonna write the recipe I think is better. And I'm gonna test it to make sure. But if you see that the recipe below is different than the recipe in this video, it's because you should be doing the recipe that's below, okay? So there it is, guys, the yellow jacket. The Pinche Cocktail comes from Michael Madrusen, the Melbourne, Australia bartender that made his bones in Milk and Honey, and also was the owner of Amehla, which is an award-winning bar, and author of the James Beard Award-nominated and Spirited Award-nominated for this year, 2026. The Madrusen Cocktail Companion, which for my money is one of, if not the best cocktail book to come out this year. This cocktail is interesting because it's a throw cocktail. I don't typically throw. I've never really learned how to throw. It's not something that I ever did in any bar job that I've had before. It's gonna be interesting to figure out how to throw a cocktail. Hopefully this cocktail is good. So it's 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. I think this is probably gonna yield 3/4 of an ounce. 3/4 of an ounce of grapefruit juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of Aperol, 1.5 ounces of Tequila Blanco Tequila Blanco or Blanco Tequila.
You got it right the first time.
Yeah, it's Tequila Blanco, but Americans say Blanco Tequila. If you look in American or like westernized cocktail books, you'll also see it says Blanco Tequila.
Well, speaking of
you ready for my throw?
Pronunciation and saying it right the first time.
Oh, the homogeneous cocktail from the other? Homogeneous?
Homogeneous, yeah.
That's how you actually pronounce it?
Yeah, that's what
they
Google
said.
says.
That's what that guy says.
But it seems like it's like a split in the community. Some say that and some say the other one, but maybe it just sounds weird.
I'm not putting my foot in that one. But he's like, I was delighted to see that you said homogeneous to begin with, and then you corrected yourself to homogeneous, and it was wrong.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a pour, and we're gonna do a throw. Oh yes, aerating that cocktail, trying not to make a complete mess, and actually making a mess. There are some people who are like, oh, they go all the way up here. You start, yeah, see, I'm making a mess. I am making a mess. All right, that's enough. The cocktail is mixed. You know what I'm gonna say, right? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab our trusty club soda here. Where did I put that pesky opener? In the drawer. I'm gonna add about an ounce into the bottom of the glass so that we don't layer on top. And then we're gonna drop our cocktail in like so. I'm gonna add our ice in here. Fits really nicely. And then I'm gonna get our champagne.
Or whatever you
High quality champagne, or I don't know. Does it say champagne or does it say sparkling? It says champagne. So we're just gonna pour this. We'll try and pour it off the ice so we don't layer. We want about 2 ounces, like so. And then The recipe calls for a lime wedge. So that's what we're doing. It's been a while since we've done a wedge, dude.
Yeah.
And that is just like, in case you need more lime, you can squeeze it in. There it is. The Pinche Cocktail, let's try it. It's very, very delightful. There are few things in this world that are as good as Aperol, Grapefruit, and Tequila Blanco. I couldn't even name off the top of my head what those things are. Fantastic. What's nice about it is that it's light, it's tart, it's a little bit bitter. You get all of the agave from the Tequila Blanco. You get a little bit of balance from the simple syrup, but it's not overly done. It is a nice kind of tart, almost tequila lime highball with just that little bit of extra bitterness and complexity. And then you also get the dryness of the champagne as well. There it is, the Pinche Cocktail. Today's Educated Barfly video is sponsored by The Educated Barfly. I don't know if you guys know this, some of you do, some of you don't, but we've got lots of really good products in our store and we are constantly adding to those products. One of our very new additions, freeze-dried garnishes. So whereas a dehydrated garnish gives you sort of like a more tea-like caramelized scent, the freeze-dried version of that is a little bit brighter, and then all the sugars when you freeze dry it come to the surface, and so you get a very bright, fresh orange flavor. These guys have been a real big hit since we put them in the store. We get lots of orders for them. We also have a little bit of glassware. We have our now kind of iconic Nick and Nora style glass that we did in the regular and honeycomb pattern. This is a 6-ounce glass, kind of Nick and Nora style. And we have a brand new, more coupe style glass. It's 7 ounces. We also have the honeycomb pattern in this as well. So if you're a fan of the channel and you want to help us out, this is a very good way to help the channel and then also get something out of it. A lot of this is the glassware that you see in our videos, and so you'll be able to recreate the same cocktails that we make in the studio at home with the best possible recipes, the best possible instructions, and now the best possible glassware and garnishes.